Welcome to everyone to my YouTube channel. Today we will discuss a new chapter in class 8, the civics first chapter, Union Legislature. Union Legislature. Union Legislature. So, the framers of the Indian Constitution were heavily influenced by the parliamentary system of governments of Britain. And they were actually looking for a form of governments where the people, irrespective of their caste, creed, religion, color, or gender, could participate and contribute in the functioning of the governments. And that is why, after India's independence, India emerged as a parliamentary democracy. And India has a parliamentary form of government. At both the center or union as well as in states. And in the Indian parliamentary governments. Next is which the president of India is the nominal head and real power resides in the hands of the prime minister, and he exercises prime functions with the advice of his council of ministers. Next is the three organs of the governments. The Constitution of India divided the powers and the functions of the governments into three organs. Now, look at the boards. I will write the names of the three organs. The three organs, first one is legislature. Next, number 2, executive. And number 3, judiciary. So first is legislature. What is the main functions of the legislature? Legislature main function to pass or make and amend laws. Next is executive function to implement the laws or enforce the law that made by legislature. Then judiciary function, after implementing the law by executive, if any problem arise, that's solved by judiciary. So first, make law, then implement, then resolve the problem by judiciary. So, to maintain the balance between these three organs, of the governments, the power is distributed equally among these three organs. And in a parliamentary form of government, the legislature and the executive work in a close relationship. Because the executive organs of the government is a part of legislature. Why? Because the executive members are elected by the legislature. Next is in India. Which the legislature at the center is called the Union Legislature or the Parliament. At the same time, at the state level also have the state legislature. And union legislature that comprises president, number 2, Lok Sabha, and number 3, Rajya Sabha. This is the composition of union legislature. And every state, they have a state legislature and they have a two houses. Not every states. Only 7 states having two houses, Vidhan Sabha and Vidhan Parishad. Vidhan Sabha is called the State Legislative Assembly and Vidhan Parishad is called State Legislative Council. But maximum states having only one house, that is the lower house, Vidhan Sabha, and such legislature are called unicameral legislature. If two houses present in the legislature is called bicameral, and if one, then unicameral legislature. Now next is the divisions of powers and the functions between the central and the state governments. Central and the state governments. So before we will discuss, we have to rub this board so you can see clearly the functions and the divisions of powers between the central and the state governments. So first of all, the Constitution of India has clearly defined the jurisdiction of the union and the state legislature by dividing the subjects for lawmaking in 3 lists. What are the 3 lists? First is union list. Number 2, state list. Number 3, concurrent list. Concurrent list. So these are the 3 lists. Our constitution divided the lawmaking powers between the two governments, central and the state government, by making 3 lists. So number 1 is union list. Union list having 97 subjects, and union legislature is supreme power to make laws. Union list subjects. How many subjects are there? 97 subjects. What are the subjects? All important subjects, national subject like foreign affairs, defense, currency, railways, etc. Only union legislature can make laws. Next is the state legislature, state list. How many subjects mentioned in state list? State list mentioned actually 66 subjects. Subjects like police, law and order, as well as the agriculture, irrigations, etc. And state legislature is exclusive to make laws, state list subjects. Next is concurrent list. In concurrent list, how many subjects mentioned? 47 subjects. 47 subjects. And these subjects both can make law. Union as well as state can make laws, state list, concurrent list subjects. But if in subjects like education, trade union, electricity, etc. And if any conflict took place between union and the state governments regarding any subjects of the concurrent list, so always central governments or union legislature will prevail, because union legislature is more powerful than the state legislature. Now next is parliament. Next is parliament. So parliament, what is the definitions of the parliament? But the parliament, it's a body of elected representatives of people and those who are supreme to govern the country. They have a supreme power to run the country's government. Again, I am telling, parliament is a body of elected representatives of people. They are the supreme officers to run the government of a country or govern the country. The Indian Parliament has two houses. I already discussed the compositions, the presidents and the two houses. And two houses, one is Lok Sabha, another one Rajya Sabha. Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Two houses. So first we will discuss about Lok Sabha. Lok Sabha is the lower house of the Indian parliament or union parliament. Lok Sabha is also called the House of People. Lok Sabha is a temporary house because it can dissolve before its full term. It can dissolve before its full term. So, first is Lok Sabha is called the lower house. Lok Sabha is the House of People. Why? Lok Sabha is called the House of People because the Lok Sabha's members are directly elected by the people. Directly elected by the people. It is lower house. It is temporary house because it can be dissolved before its term over. Now next is the composition. First is composition. Composition of Lok Sabha. First point, Lok Sabha's maximum strength is 552. Second point, out of these 552, 530 members are elected from different states. Elected from different states. Then third point, 20 members are elected from different union territories. And fourth, 2 members are nominated by the president from Anglo-Indian community. So this is the composition of Lok Sabha. This is the composition of Lok Sabha. 552 total strength or maximum strength, 530 members elected from different states, 20 members from union territories and 2 from Anglo-Indian community nominated by the presidents. Now the question is eligibility. What? Eligibility. Eligibility. What are the qualifications required to be a member of Lok Sabha? To become a member of Lok Sabha? Number one, you know, all of you, the person should be a citizen of India. Number 2, minimum age required, that is 25 years. Third point, he should not be a proclaimed criminal. Fourth point, he should not be a undischarged insolvent. Number 5, he should not be unsound in mind. Number 6, he should not hold any office of profit under center or state governments. He should not hold any office of profit under center or state governments. So these are the qualifications required to be a member of Lok Sabha. Next we will discuss about the election process. Election process. For the purpose of election, Lok Sabha election, the whole country is divided into some small units. Some small electoral units, and each unit is called constituencies. What? Constituency. And from each constituency, one representative is elected. And the election is conducted earlier by a secret ballot. What was that? Secret ballot used because this means that no one knows whom the voter has voted for. That means no one knows whom the voter has voted for. But today we are using EVM, electronic voting machines. Next is second point. Every citizen above the age 18 years has the right to vote in this election. Number 3, Lok Sabha elections are held after every 5 years. Lok Sabha's normal term is 5 years. So Lok Sabha election held after every 5 years. But before 5 years, the election can be held if Lok Sabha dissolve before the completion of its 5 years term. Now the question is, after the election over, Lok Sabha election over, the majority party who are the party who got the majority vote in the Lok Sabha election, that party form the governments, and that party's leader is appointed by as a prime minister. And who appoint him as a prime minister? The president appoint him as a prime minister. But in case any party do not get the absolute majority in the Lok Sabha, then what happens? Then 2 or 3 parties together form the majority or get the majority vote, they form an alliance. An alliance, if alliance form the government, that is called coalition governments. That is called coalition governments. If there is no clear majority, so two or more political parties can together or can come together to form a coalition governments. Now next is the speaker. Who is the speaker? Lok Sabha's head is called speaker. He is a presiding officer of the Lok Sabha. So who elects speaker and what is the normal term of the speaker? These questions, lot of questions we will discuss one by one. So first is, after every general election, that means after a Lok Sabha election, when the Lok Sabha's member first time meet in the house, in the first meeting only, amongst themselves, they elect one speaker. They elect one speaker and one deputy speaker. One deputy speaker. But one thing I forgot to tell you, that the party who get the majority vote in Lok Sabha election, they form the government, they become ruling party, and other party, those who do not get the absolute majority, they form opposition in the Lok Sabha. Now next is the speaker normal term also 5 years. So Lok Sabha's members among themselves in their first meeting they elect one speaker and one deputy speaker. Now, so this is over the Lok Sabha. I hope all of you understood this part. Next we will go to Rajya Sabha. Another house. Rajya Sabha is a upper house of the parliament. It is called the Council of States. It is called the Council of States because Rajya Sabha's members do not elected by the people. Rajya Sabha members are indirectly elect. Rajya Sabha's members are elected by the state legislative assemblies member. Rajya Sabha is a permanent house because it cannot be dissolved. It cannot be dissolved. It's a permanent upper house. Permanent house. It cannot be dissolved. Next, it is called the Council of States because all states representative seat were in Rajya Sabha. That is why it is called the Council of States. Now, next is the composition of Rajya Sabha. Composition. Very, very important. Composition. Number one, first point. Rajya Sabha's maximum strength is 250. How much? 250 members. Next, number two, 238 members elected from different states. Elected from different states. And number three, 12 members are nominated by the president from different field. Those who have a special knowledge in such field like art, literature, science, social work, sports, etc. So these are the composition of Rajya Sabha. Next is the qualification. Qualification, just few minutes ago we discussed about the qualifications or eligibility criteria for Lok Sabha's members, and Rajya Sabha's members are more or less same, only one difference, that is age. Lok Sabha we have seen the minimum age requirement is 25 years and for Rajya Sabha that is 30 years. How much? 30 years minimum age requirements. Otherwise all the qualifications are same. Number one, the person should be a citizen of India. Number two, minimum age 30 years. Number three, he should not hold any office of profit under center or state governments. And number four, he should not be a proclaimed criminal. Number five, he should not be unsound in mind. Number six, he should not be undischarged insolvents. So these are the qualifications. Now next is, who presides over the meeting in Rajya Sabha? Who presides over the meeting in Rajya Sabha? Vice President. Vice President presides over the meeting in Rajya Sabha. presides over the meeting in Rajya Sabha. But Vice President is not the member of Rajya Sabha. He is a ex officio chairman. He is the ex officio chairman of the Rajya Sabha. So, in Rajya Sabha's first meeting, Rajya Sabha's members amongst themselves, they elect one deputy chairman. Deputy chairman. In absence of Vice President, deputy chairman carried the functions of Vice President. Next we will discuss about the functions of the parliament. Functions of the parliament. That means Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha and the president together. Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha's functions together. That means the functions of the parliament. And the functions are divided into some categories like legislative function, financial functions or powers, then judicial functions, constituent function, electoral functions, debatable functions, etc. So, parliament functions. The functions of the parliament. So, first one is legislative powers and functions. Legislative powers and functions. Second is the control over executive. Control over executive. Control over executive. Number three is the financial function. Next, number four is a electoral function. Next is number five, judicial function. Next, number six, constituent function. Okay, so first is the legislative powers and the functions of the parliament. But the primary functions of the Union Parliament is to make laws on the subjects mentioned in the Union list. And it is also entitled to make laws on the subject that mentioned in concurrent list. But in some cases, Union legislature or Union Parliament can make laws the state list subjects. On which occasion the Union legislature can make laws on the state list subject? Because few minutes ago we discussed the state legislature is exclusively powerful or supreme to make laws the state list subjects where central government cannot interfere. But in some occasion, central governments or the Union legislature or the parliament can make laws state list subjects. On which occasion? Number one, during emergency. Number two, second occasion, if a resolution passed in Rajya Sabha that the subject falling in state list that day by day getting national importance. In this occasion, the Union legislature or the Union Parliament can make laws the state list subjects. So next is, no laws can be implemented in the country before it is sanctioned by the Parliament. Without the approval of the Parliament, no law can be implemented. Next is, a law first is initiated or introduced in the Parliament as a bill. Every law that passed, that first introduced in the Parliament as a bill. So what is bill? A bill is an initial draft of a law. and which one passed by both the houses of the parliaments and signed by the president, then that will become a act, or that will become an act. So a bill passed by both the houses of the parliament and signed by the president, then a bill will become an act. So there are different types of bills in India. Three types: normal, ordinary bill, money bills, and the constituent amendment bills. Three types of bills: ordinary bill, money bill, and constituent amendment bill. So first is the ordinary bill. The bills dealing with the matters other than financial bills, money bills, and constituent amendment bills, and such bills are called ordinary bills. Again, I am telling what are the ordinary bills? Bills that dealing with the matters other than financial bill, money bill, or constituent amendment bills are called ordinary bills. And these ordinary bills can be introduced either house, either Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha. Either Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha. Now next is money bill. Which bills dealing exclusively with the matters of imposing and the abolitions of taxes, borrowing of money by the governments, as well as audit. All these bills are called money bill, and money bill can be introduced only in Lok Sabha. Rajya Sabha don't have any power regarding money bill. Next is number 3, constituent amendment bills. The bills that are introduced for amending the constitution are called the constituent amendment bills. Now, these are the legislative powers and the functions discussed. Next is the control over the executive. But the Indian Parliament keep a check on the powers of the executive by discussing and questioning ministers about the government policies, government functions, etc. But the executive is directly accountable for their action to the parliament, especially Lok Sabha. Executive members, that means the ministers, are directly responsible to the parliament, especially in Lok Sabha. They are answerable to Lok Sabha. And if the Lok Sabha is not satisfied the answer given by any minister, any ministry, then they can pass a no confidence vote or no confidence motion against that ministry. And in that case, if a no confidence motion passed against any minister or any ministry, then whole ministry has to resign. Why? Because all the ministers are collectively responsible for the smooth functioning of the governments. They act as a football team. They act as a team. So, if government do a good work, that credit goes to everyone. And if government do not run according to the wishes of the people, if fail, then this credit also goes to everyone. So that is why if a no confidence motion passed against any minister, then whole ministry has to resign. Next is the parliament also has another one authority to check the power to check the authority of the executive by passing an adjournment motion to draw the attention a matter of urgent importance like natural calamities, terrorist attacks, etc. Next is the financial power. Financial powers of the or function of the parliament. But the parliament has complete control over the finance of the governments. The government required the approval of the Lok Sabha to introduce any taxes. Without the approval of the parliament, government cannot impose a tax, maybe a single rupee. So even the annual budget of the government also placed before parliament. Budget means it's a estimates of earning or income and expenditure of the government for ensuing year, and that must be first presented to the parliament for its approval. And Lok Sabha has the authority to completely reject the budget. Next is electoral power or electoral functions. So Parliament plays an important role in the elections of the presidents, vice president, as well as the judges of the Supreme Court, High Court. Not only that, as well as of deputy chairman of the Rajya Sabha, speaker, deputy speaker, where in Lok Sabha. Next is the judicial function. Judicial function, just now we discuss judicial functions. So the judicial functions means the parliament can remove the president and the vice president from their post by the process of impeachment. What is impeachment? Impeachment is a process by which the president and the vice president can be removed from their office. Why? On which ground the president and the vice president can be removed? President and the vice president can be removed from their office, their position, for the violating the constitution or misusing their authority. Misusing their authority. Next is they can also remove the judges of the Supreme Court and High Court. Next is the constituent function. Constituent function means the parliament is the sole body or only body that has a power to change or amend the constitution of India. And to change the constitution or any provisions of the constitution, both the houses' approval is essential. Unilaterally cannot change any provisions of the constitution by Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha. So to change any provisions, both the houses' approval is essential. Unilaterally they can't. So there are some provisions which the parliament can change very easily by only a simple majority vote, but there are, and such provisions are called flexible. But there are some provisions which the parliament cannot change very easily. For that, 2/3 majority vote needed for both the houses, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, and that is called the rigid provisions. So these are the functions of the parliament. I hope all of you understood. If you have any queries, you can text me. I will try to solve your questions or your problems. Thank you. Thank you very much to all of you.